Hi, I'm Karen.
And I'm Nancy.
And you're listening to our latest KidsmomoMO, where we give you Mo, Kidsmomo.
This time we're reviewing Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1.
And this time, we decided to do something a little different for our movie review. In honor of the 7th book and the 7th movie, Nancy and I are answering 7 questions about the film and what we thought of it. So here it goes. Oh my god, I loved it! Major smiley face from me. I almost went to see it again like 2 days later because I loved it so much. The only thing that stopped me is that I came down with a cold and I didn't want to be coughing and sneezing during the whole thing. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to see it again soon. I don't think I'll be able to stay away from the theaters.
I really enjoyed it, but because the movie ends on a rather sad note, I wasn't exactly jumping for joy like I usually am after seeing the other movies.
It's hard to pick just one scene, so I'm going to cheat and say that my favorite aspect of the movie was that I think it really reflected the pace of the book accurately. Obviously, they had to cut out a bunch of stuff, but it really seemed true to the spirit and feeling of the book, and I was really worried that they would speed through all that time that Harry and Ron and Hermione are traveling around the countryside, which drags on for a while in the book to make the point that they're really doing it for ages and it feels like they're not getting anywhere. And I thought in the movie that they might shorten that to just move things along, but it felt just right, so I was really happy about that.
I was actually really happy to see Dobby show up. I love Dobby, but he isn't actually my favorite character like I know he is for a lot of other people. But the minute he showed up, I was just so happy to see him because he's so optimistic and he loves Harry Potter so much and he's so adorable. So I was really excited to see him actually. I also really loved the animated depiction of the tale of the three brothers and the origin of the Deathly Hallows.
Well, I know I said that I thought the movie got the pacing of the book right, but I do think they left out a lot of important backstory about the Horcruxes and the Hallows, and that's such an important part of the book, and it really wasn't explained well in the movie at all. In particular, the significance of the Hallows is really not clear unless you've already read the book, so I'm hoping that they start off part 2 with filling out those details for the audience.
Well, in the book, it explains much more Dumbledore's history, which I guess they didn't have a lot of time to cover, so I hope they include that in part 2. Or, I guess, the extras when the DVD comes out, which I'm definitely getting.
Well, I'm not sure excited is quite the right word, but one of my favorite scenes in the book is when one of the characters dies, and I won't say which one, no spoilers, but this character dies, and then Harry digs a grave by hand instead of using magic, and he's really full of grief over it. And I have the audiobook, and I've listened to that scene at least 3 or 4 times, and I always cry. So, of course, I totally bawled in the movie theater. Tears were literally running down my face.
I was looking forward to see Ron confront the locket, one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, and face his fears. Not that I want to see Ron suffer or anything, but I thought the actor who plays Ron, Rupert Grint, did a great job and portrayed his anguish really well.
There's a new scene that I really loved. Harry sees that Hermione is really sad, so he pulls her to her feet and starts dancing with her to cheer her up. And just for a moment, they're enjoying each other's company like when they were younger and had fewer cares instead of the whole weight of the world resting on their shoulders. And that was a really nice addition to the movie. And of course, I totally teared up at that scene as well.
Well, I guess I'm contradicting Karen here, but I didn't like the scene where they were dancing in the tent. I thought it was so random, and I wanted the story to continue.
You know, I think they will, but as I said before, they won't fully get the significance of the Hallows, which is too bad. A couple friends of mine who haven't read the books, I know, it's shocking I'm still friends with them, right? Anyway, they saw the movie opening weekend, and then they asked me a whole bunch of questions afterwards because they weren't quite sure how the Hallows fit into everything else and whether they were related to Horcruxes or not. So that's kind of a problem. Also, my friends definitely did not remember what Horcruxes even were before they went to see the movie, So I suggest that if you're going to see this movie, but you haven't read the books or you just don't remember a lot about book six, then you should do a refresher so that you're prepared for the movie before you go see it.
I actually went to see the movie with somebody who hasn't read the Harry Potter books, believe it or not, or seen many of the other movies, believe it or not, so he was pretty confused. But I think if you enjoy movies involving magic and saving the world, you'll enjoy this movie and you'll probably be inspired to read the books. Like Karen said, there's quite a bit of Harry Potter lore that isn't really explained in this movie, but that's easily solvable since you have plenty of time to read the books before part 2 comes out.
For starters, I'm definitely gonna see the movie again, like very, very soon. Also, I've been listening to the audiobook of Deathly Hallows pretty much nonstop. But when I'm done with that, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll get the rest of the audiobooks and just start over from the beginning. I listen to my iPod every day when I walk to and from the subway, so that will be a wonderful way to start and end my day, I guess.
How am I going to stay sane for approximately 235 more days? Well, I already reread the second half of book 7, so I'll probably reread the first half shortly and then reread books 1 to 6. And thankfully, the trailer actually shows lots of scenes from part 2, so I guess I can watch that frame by frame. You get the idea.
And there you have it, our answers to 7 questions about the 7th Harry Potter movie. Thanks for tuning in to this Kidsmomomo.